So this book, and you can tell us what this book is all about and how he kind of works through this, right?
Yeah. So kind of the overview of this book is that it's going to show us how to initiate conversations kind of effortlessly. It's how do you work in the gospel presentation when you're at a party kind of deal?
Yeah.
Or you're standing in line,
or somebody makes a comment about Christianity, and now what do you do?
Sure.
What do you say? Right? Yeah.
Or you've got a situation that presents itself where someone's talking about something that, as we saw from our last book, anything could be a conversation that leads us into worldview, into gospel areas. And so this is kind of how to do it. It's not just, that reminds me of a book I read. It's called The Bible. Have you heard of it? This is a really good presentation on the tactics of starting that conversation. It's also to help us to present the truth clearly, cleverly, and persuasively. So being able to not only be a communicator of truth, but also a good communicator of that truth.
Right.
Which, obviously we all fail at. We all need help, and it's always good, especially from a book that's 10 years old. So and
he's suggesting that this book will help us to be able to do that, right? And so that's an amazing thing. If a book can help me to be, clever and persuasive and clear,
there's a first time for everything. So. So we also want to be graciously and effectively expose faulty thinking, both maybe even in our own minds of I can present this a better way, or what are the implications of me saying something where I might slip into modalism thinking, and you're like, wait, hold on, let me reevaluate what the other side would say to that,
right?
Or of course, we're also on the offensive as well. We're wanting to take what people bring to us as their worldview, as their answers to life's ultimate questions, or the ethics of whatever we're talking about, and how to say, well, here's where a reductio ad absurdum. This is the absurdity that your argument might lead into, and so how do we pinpoint that location where we can kind of put a thumb screw to it?
Yeah, and this idea of exposing faulty thinking. After I read this book, I made a note at the very beginning. I said that this book is a lesson in critical thinking. Right, this book teaches us. It's kind of a lesson in informal logic, really.
Yeah.
And so this is a really helpful book in terms of this issue of faulty thinking, bad thinking, and how to reason correctly. Right. So this really,
Right, and also to skillfully manage the details of a dialogue, understanding where you're at in the conversation, kind of how to direct it, where you want it to go. If it's not going your way, it's okay to bail out. There's good stories that he has, or that he might put other people in the driver's seat of those conversations as well. And so, it's okay to say, I'll get back to you. And it's also okay to say, I have an answer to that question that you think is going to stump me.
Yeah.
And so, how do you present that without, throwing dirt in their face and saying, haha, have you ever thought of that?
Yeah.
And then also to maintain an engaging, disarming style, even under attack, which, it's always going to be hard, especially for something you might be passionate about, especially something that's salvific, that's your faith, that,
that there's an emotional attachment there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the most important conversation you're going to have, and it could be against somebody who thinks that you believe in a magic sky fairy, who is synonymous with the flying spaghetti monster. And, they're just there to scoff at you because, you believe in what some goat herders did 2,000 years ago, or, whatever the most malicious attack is. And so it's really hard sometimes, especially if you're the one lone person, you have to stand up. And that's even just in a general conversation. Think about what, Paul engaged in when he's standing before people that can take off his head or kill him, or just, he's on a boat and they want to throw him over the side, or stuff like that. That's what kind of the overview of this book is.